Here are 5 tips to help you through the holiday season. Are you dreading the fast approaching holidays after the loss of your baby? Would you rather hide out in your room and not come out until January 1st? I know we kind of thought about that.
Hello, we are Tony and
Jeff Braybeck.
the founders of Our Little Sparrows, Pregnancy and Infant Loss Support. If you would like to know more about us and our organization, please click the link in the description below.
That's right. With the holidays coming up, many of us who have experienced pregnancy loss may have conflicting feelings about this season. I know we have in the past, and sometimes we still do. It's supposed to be the happiest time of year. In fact, you're supposed to be full of hope and joy and promises, right? It's supposed to be a time of giving and Christmas cheer, that too. So why would one dread this season instead of experiencing the joy and the hope that it does have to offer? Well, the answer is grief. We've all experienced that loss, the loss of our child. So when you experience the loss of your baby, regardless at what gestational age he or she was, you can experience a wide range of emotions, and most of us do. So no matter how happy the season is, you may or may not be feeling the same way as everything else around you says you should be feeling. So before we talk about these solutions that we have for this holiday season, we need to address some of the challenges that you or I, or most of us, are experiencing right now. The first challenge that we feel that's important is conflicting emotions. So when your heart doesn't match what your head says, it brings an inner conflict. It's like we've talked about before. It's like it's a traumatic experience that we've gone through when we've lost the baby. And for most of us, if not all of us, what we're thinking and what we're feeling are at conflict with each other. They're tearing each other apart because one cannot rationalize or reason the other. So your head says one thing. It says, I should be happy. We're expecting a child and not sad. But your heart feels the brokenness of the loss that just took place or took place years ago, like for us.
The second challenge is pressure and expectations. Whether it's from yourself or for someone else, there are expectations to uphold previous traditions, to be at that family gathering or plan your holiday work social, to feel happy and cheerful when inside you feel the complete opposite.
Another challenge is energy, or rather the lack thereof, really. So grief takes not only a physical toll, but an emotional toll on your body. And the busyness and the pressures of the holidays of attending social gatherings, shopping and preparations, and meeting expectations of others, and you have a recipe for that physical exhaustion.
The fourth challenge that we face is family-centered focus. Everywhere you look, you see families, children, babies with first Christmas outfits, pictures with Santa, Christmas family photos. The holidays are centered on being together with your family. This is a beautiful thing, but when you're experiencing grief from the loss of your baby, this is a painful reminder of what you should be experiencing. You should be experiencing the anticipation of your baby or your baby's first Christmas. Your family was supposed to grow, not live through loss. All in all, the happy holiday season can end up being a season of trepidation.
Exactly. But the good news, there is a silver lining. There is hope. We want to share with you 5 special tips to help you navigate this potentially difficult holiday season. The first tip that we have for you is to simply take care of you. It really starts with focusing on ourselves. I know it sounds selfish, but before we can put our energy into other things and other people, we've got to start with ourselves. So take care of yourself physically, emotionally. So what does that look like? Well, physically, you need to get enough rest. Nutrition's important. What we put in is what we get out, right? Same thing with what we eat. And drinking water, it sounds simple. I'm a coffee drinker. I at least have a cup and a half in the morning every day. If I don't replenish with water what I took out with coffee, I get headaches, I get lethargic, all sorts of things, right? I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And getting exercise. At the bare minimum, what does Dr. Oz say? 30 minutes a day? Something like that. If you get a few walks in a few times a week, it can do a lot of good for you. Emotionally, we have to take care of ourselves emotionally as well. So talking to a friend, having that confidant, someone you can lean on, whether they've had an experience of baby loss or not, that depends on you and who you're comfortable in having as a confidant. Prayer is important. If you have a religious or faith background, prayer is very important. Meditating on the Word of God, meditation in general, if that's something that you do for your personal health. Journaling is great. Putting pen to paper, what you're thinking and what you're feeling, can kind of take that conflict of the brain and the heart in that traumatic experience of loss and kind of mend that divide and create a bridge between the two. And have a good cry. Man, it's all about those emotions. Don't turn that valve off as it starts to flow. Allow it to flow. Allow the emotions to come. You don't know what healing you can receive from just crying without letting it happen. Yeah.
Tip number 2, it's okay to say no. If you need to establish new boundaries or make adjustments to previous ones, it's normal to choose not to attend a holiday function or gathering this season. You may get mixed responses from others, but remind yourself that this is a decision for your own benefit and for your family.
The third tip we have is that it is okay to say yes. So there's things that we can definitely say yes to. You can say yes to what's enjoyable and inviting to yourself. If you want to go to Christmas, if you want to go Christmas shopping, if you want to listen to Christmas music all day, if you want to bake cookies, then do it. It's important to do what makes you feel good.
Tip number 4, surround yourself with the people who truly support you. It's important to surround yourself with support, those who understand and have no expectations of you, who make a sincere effort to be your friend and are authentically empathetic.
The fifth tip we have is just simply giving. Now, this can be a donation or it can be volunteering your time. Something about giving back to our community is the best way to bring healing into our lives. There's something about that. Many organizations this time of year are seeking donations or volunteers. They're basically coming up with next year's budget when it comes to the finances. They're putting on galas. They're doing food drives towards the end of the year. They know that this can be the toughest time for families. Ironically, a lot of companies lay off people during the holidays when business is slow. So it's very important stuff happening out there for those that are in need. The best way to find out about how you can help out your local organization would be to check in with them. So go to a nonprofit, call the local Salvation Army. Another one would be your churches in your area. They know who's in need during this time of year. So the best thing you can do is check in with those organizations and ask them, what their need is, if it's donations or volunteering. Now we'd like to share with you an amazing resource that basically encompasses everything that we just talked about above. And Tony's going to share that with you right now.
Our friend and author, Amy Lance, has created this beautiful workbook called Tending to Your Holiday Heart, Learning to Breathe Through the Loss of a Loved One. This is a beautiful workbook that has over 80 practical tips to help you navigate through the holidays. And these are very simple, easy to do. Basically, you can just do it right almost where you're at. You don't need any special equipment or anything. Things like just taking a pause and taking a deep breath, lighting a candle in memory of your baby. Just things that when things feel overwhelming and you are longing for your baby, but there's all this stuff going on and it's really busy and chaotic. These are suggestions for you just to take a moment and pause and just hold space for you in remembrance of your baby. It also includes pages for journaling and blank pages for however you want to fill it. And we just need sometimes that space where we just want to just let things out, and however that comes out, that blank page is there for you. So there are 2 ways you can order these. The first would be through Amazon. We'll put the link in the description below, and you can order these, and it's a beautifully printed book. It's all bound together for you, and it's a beautiful resource. The second way that you can get this is you can download the ebook, and we'll put the link in the show notes below, and the ebook is free.
Right.
And so we love that Amy has made this so accessible
Yeah.
to everyone, and will and just wanted to share it with anyone who needs it. And so there's two different options for you. You can download the ebook and print it off yourself, or you can order it through Amazon. And this would make a great gift for someone, actually.
Yeah.
If you know of someone who will probably experience a really challenging season for Christmas or the holidays, and this would just be a great way to show your support for them.
Perfect. So even though we're still in October, some might think the holidays are still way out there, but they're not. Before you know it, Halloween's going to be here in a week and a half, right? And then right after that is going to be the third Thursday of November, and U.S. Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving is here.
Yeah.
So all this can apply to these family and child-focused holidays. From our own experience, sometimes grief is more intense in anticipation of a significant event, days or weeks before that actual day occurs. Because of that, we want to provide you with some guidance from our own experience and a beautifully written resource from our friend Amy Lands. We hope that you found this episode helpful. We want you to know that you are not alone. Your babies will always be cherished, and we are here to support you in any way that we can.
If you got value out of this episode, please give us a thumbs up so others can find us. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell to get updates for when we release new content weekly. If you liked this episode and want to see another video podcast, click or tap here. If you're looking for more in-depth information, we have a grief series called The Pregnancy Journey, Grieving from Diagnosis to the Loss of Your Baby and Beyond. You can click or tap here.